You need to start asking men what they value. And the problem is, when you start asking men, shout out, rest in peace, Kevin Samuels, okay? He highlighted this. And he highlighted that when men speak and when men think and when men feel and when men express their opinions, right? Women that are single mothers of like 2, 3, 4, or however many
fat
children.
Chicks too.
Fat chicks too, right?
Not first,
You have to understand how men speak and how men feel. And it offends you. That's not our problem.
Can I ask you?
But men are allowed to have their standards. When a woman has standards, men are not offended. If you say you don't want short guys, we're like, all right, cool. You don't want short guys. When a man says, I don't want a baby mother, oh my God, what do you want to be? It's like you get offended. It's like, it's crazy. Like men are allowed to have standards too.
When men speak, women don't listen. Just like in this video.
Today we have average women who want a luxury lifestyle. And you have women who live a luxury lifestyle telling you to focus on yourself. You don't hear women making $40,000 a year as a school teacher. You don't hear women making $40,000 a year as a bus driver or a social worker or in retail telling you focus on yourself, girl, and live your life. You have women in academics, politics, and celebrity telling women to focus on yourself when they don't live your lifestyle.
Partly why there is a massive delusion amongst modern women.
If the only thing you are in demand for is your body and your beauty, if the only thing that you're in demand for is your body and your beauty, if at the end of the day that is your value proposition, then you got a problem. Why is it that so important? I am starting to see an imbalance. We're starting to see men over here getting their money together. They're getting their minds right, their body right, their money right, their network right. They're starting to explore, become better versions, and women are almost devolving. At best, most women think looking good puts them on the same level as a millionaire.
Devalue yourself. It's kind of like men can smell it on you. They can just look at a bitch and go, oh. And that's the way it works. So you have to be very careful as a female and sit and go, does this man truly deserve to fuck me? And if you think about it, the answer 99% of the time, especially if you're promiscuous, is no. So when a woman is sleeping around with all these men, she's devaluing herself. She's devaluing herself, and the world knows, God knows, the universe knows. When a man does it, he doesn't devalue himself at all. That's just the way it works.
Can I ask you a question? Wait, Esther, 1 second.
Can I ask you a question? Says the female guest. That usually means they're offended and want to change the subject. Men and women are so vastly different in many things. What Tate is talking about is absolutely true. Ask any women on the street what they prefer, a virgin or a playboy, and most of the time, they'll tell you they want a playboy. Exhibit A. When a man sleeps around, his value automatically increases because women think he's desirable, whereas the opposite is not true. Ask any guy and they'd prefer a virgin over a woman who has the body count of Ted Bundy. Unfair, yes, but that's how things work.
I don't even really advocate for men sleeping around. Like, y'all, there's a level of purity you can't get back. And even as a man, like, I think when there's a reason, it's when both the man and the woman are virgins, they have a longer marriage. Like, that's the happiest, longest marriages. Now, there's less consequences for a guy that sleeps around, and if anything, he's rewarded for it. But yeah, that's my like 2 cents on that.
There are fewer consequences for men. Still, there are consequences. Catching something for one. Also, you might come across some crazy females.
But don't you think it's interesting that they label, like, men can't criticize modern women because they'll be labeled misogynist. Women can't criticize modern women because they'll be labeled pick-me. So nobody can criticize these women. Isn't that convenient?
Yeah, and then they'll go to the personal attacks, like, well, why are you single? And I'm like, is what I'm saying true or is it not true? I'll be like, Rebecca, 7 abortions is a lot. I don't know what you're doing. I met a girl that had 7. Her name's not actually Rebecca. 7 abortions.
Wow.
7. And I'm like, that's a lot. That is madness. And it's like, is that true or is it untrue? Or should we encourage it to get to 10? Should we encourage it to get to 10?
What a crazy world we're living in that these types of actions are not reprimanded or shamed. They're encouraged. We're truly living in a clown's world.
People are starting to recognize after the pandemic, people worldwide, and this in general, the country in particular, are realizing that life is not about these long work hours and these corporate conditions that don't make you happy, climbing the corporate ladder. It is about relationships. The great global reset is happening in general. What happened for Valentine's Day? Did a man of value spoil you today? No, not did a slim sausage come by, not did your normal jump off. If you got the 15-piece Wingstop special with the seasoned fries and he called it a special day because he decided to go splurge and get the bourbon baked beans. If your Valentine's Day was 15 wings instead of 10, instead of the fries, he splurged and got the bourbon baked beans, and he decided to get you your own ranch dressing this time instead of sharing. You ain't that special. Sorry, but not sorry. That's what you guys need to understand. Ladies need to understand. I thought you were so special.
Respect to men is love. Like, men don't feel loved if they don't feel respected. And your job as a woman is to make them look good. And this goes back to, does it look good to a guy to have his girl hugging the whole football team, hugging the whole basketball team, hugging the whole rap scene?
Absolutely true. That's why it's important for men to make themselves respectable. Keep working on yourself, boys.
6 habits that turn boys into men. Number 1, prioritizing purpose over pleasure. Number 2, taking complete responsibility over your life and setting high standards. Number 3, spending time improving your mental health. Number 4, being overly neat and yes, overly organized. Number 5, focusing on improving your physique and health. And number 6, having like-minded friends that are mission focused.
Facts.
People come to me and go, I'm really worried about the West, I'm worried about having kids, I'm worried about this. I'm like, look, okay, bro, do you have enough money to move? No. Okay, don't worry about voting for nothing. Don't worry about sitting there reading every political article. Look after yourself first. You can't pour from an empty cup. The first thing you should be focused on is at least have enough money in the bank or enough assets or whatever it takes for you to say, you know what, I'm booking a flight, I'm going to Singapore, I'm going to chill in an Airbnb for the next 3 years. Worry about yourself first. Once you get that kind of mindset and that kind of attitude, politics becomes a hobby. It doesn't become a be-all and end-all. And that's how it should be.
Practical advice? That's why a lot of people who virtue signal usually don't have their life together. Dabbling in politics is the easiest way to tell the world you care about something. Focus on yourself first, gentlemen. The rest is noise.
Let me tell you something. Never in human history, in any single civilization, in any single empire across the history of Earth, have men been celebrated for their weakness. Ever once. It doesn't matter if you were an Aztec or the Mao dynasty, from China all the way to South America. In every single history book you can read, men who were respected and men who had stories written about them were written about them because they were strong. Weak men have never been respected. Weak men have never mattered. For you to come along and say, I think it's okay to be weak is fine. That is your initiative. That is your decision. The reason you're doing that is because you lack brave. You lack balls.
Dude, I have more balls than you'll ever have, boss.
I mean, the pink hair usually gives it away, you know? Men, you cannot be weak. If you are, the world will punish you.
Men that go younger because they can't get women their age.
Wait a minute.
Sorry, you're dating a younger woman, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
And can you not get women your own age?
I can get women of every age.
But what'd you say is harder to attract, women your age or younger women?
Generally, I can attract women of all ages, younger and older. And that is one of the benefits of being a man of age. And it's one of those things that a lot of women try to shame men for. They try to shame men for saying, oh, you're going with these younger girls. Like, as a 41-year-old man, I can attract a 50-year-old woman, but I can also attract a 21-year-old woman. Whereas a woman of age is generally going to try and attract men of her age, and if she attracts men of a younger age, we know what it's for.
This is the shaming tactic I've been talking about. When women hit that wall, and nobody wants them anymore because they have the body count equal to Jeffrey Dahmer's, they'll start to shame you. They'll tell older men who have worked hard all their lives to achieve their status, that they can't attract women their age. How convenient for these females.
Here's 5 childlike traits that are holding men back. Number 1, being envious of other people's success. Number 2, I know it sounds wild, but I've seen a lot of dudes do it, enjoying other people's misery. Number 3, blaming other people for your shortcomings. Number 4, holding grudges and becoming bitter. And number 5, avoiding responsibility and blaming your past on why you can't move forward in life.
I had a girl come up to me last night at the end of my talk, and this happens all the time. She said, I started cleaning up my room last year and it completely changed my life. She said, your room is an externalization of your mind. And that's right. That's exactly true. To the degree that you're in your room, the room is you. Now, that isn't how people think, but that's okay. It doesn't matter if they think that way. That's how it is. So straighten up what you can straighten up and quit saying things that make you feel weak. And then you'll know what to do next.
It's absolutely true. Your environment reflects your state of mind.
If modern women just came out and said, you know what, I got obese from one baby and it's because I ate the wrong foods, I was eating empty calories, I was in a toxic relationship, I was depressed, but that's not what they say. They say it's because they got pregnant. Ma'am, no one believes you. I mean, maybe stupid people believe you. I certainly don't believe you. This is not normal and it's not healthy. Like, gestational diabetes is real. And that comes from nutrition.
I can wake up.
How you feel should be disconnected from what you need to do. As a man, you can't operate on feelings. You have to be logical and methodical with the things you're doing.
When you start to see it coming and she's behaving differently, she's colder, she's withdrawn, she's more distant, she's spending more time with friends, sort of things. That's when you start, what's going on here? Like, what's really happening? Because it looks like to me like you've got one foot out the door. Well, what do you mean I got it? And she'll get all defensive and that's not what's going on. And maybe that's not what's going on, but maybe it is what's going on. But at least, you've drawn a line in the sand and you've set a boundary and you're like, I'm not a goof. I see what's happening. What's going on? Because if you're out, like leave. The door's unlocked. It's going to be locked if you try to come back in. Heads up, okay? And we don't play games like that.
As a man, it's important to have a firm set of boundaries. Make sure you implement them ruthlessly.
What do you say to young men who come to you for advice, who feel lost?
I say that life as a man is exceptionally difficult. I say the most beautiful and the most terrifying thing about being a man is you're born without value. Society doesn't care about you. You're only going to be cared about based on how useful you are. You have the chance to build yourself up and become a superhero if you're prepared to do the hard work and be indefatigable enough to never quit. But if you're going to stand around and wait for a handout, nobody's going to ever respect you. And I think that a lot of people have forgotten about how difficult and how competitive it is as a man. We're always in constant competition with each other. And it's your duty as a man to stand up and say, I want to be as important and strong and good-hearted and God-fearing as possible, and I need to work hard to achieve those things.
Let's end this one with some motivation from the GOAT, Ronnie Coleman. I hope this inspires you to work on yourself. Thanks for watching, gentlemen.